Hello, welcome back to teleSUR English, and now we go live to Venezuela as the 5th Alba Games open in Caracas at the Stadium Jorge Luis García Garneiro of La Guaira. The Alba Games, also known as the Friendship Games, are a biennial multi-sport events organized by the Bolivarian Alliance for the People of South America, Alba. Inspired by similar multi-sport events such as the Olympic Games, the Bolivarian Games, the Mediterranean Games, the Asian Games, and the Pan American Games. After 12 years since the last Alba Games were held in 2023, we will once again experience the sporting events of the Regional Integration Bloc. Is the 5th edition in Venezuela, from April 21st to 29th. The 23 Alba Games will have 11 countries to participate, including Antigua and Barbuda, Bolivia, and Cuba. It is important to highlight that for the first time after the FIFA World Cup in 2018, Russian athletes will be able to compete under the flag of their country and listen to the notes of the international anthem. The athletes competing will be close to 3,500 in more than 35 disciplines, and is the edition. There are some completely known ones is the competition: Kempo, boxe, dominoes, kickboxing, BMX, freestyle, wushu, and skating. Nine days of competitions from 21 to 29 April. 11 delegations will compete in 33 disciplines in 3 venues. Nine days of competitions from 21st to 29th April. 11 delegations will compete in 33 disciplines in 3 venues. The Bolivar Square in Greater Caracas was the final destination of the journey of the Torch of the Alba 2023 Sport Games, through the 3 venues in the charge of hosting the 33 participating disciplines in the 5th edition. The Torch began its journey last Monday, when it arrived from the waters of the Caribbean Sea to the Compañía Guisipozcana in La Guaira. On Tuesday, the Torch made a tour of the Mirandino territory, which ended the one of the most iconic complexes of this state, the José Joaquín Papa Carrillo Gymnasium. The tradition of the lighting the Torch represents as a symbolic value, the proof of the beginning of the sports games. The 3 venues of the games will be Caracas, in the capital of Venezuela, as well as the state of Miranda and La Guaira, which will host Olympic sports and recognized by the Republic, such as athletics, judo, fencing, cycling in this edition, mountain, track and road, swimming, karate and taekwondo. In the collective sport field, football, baseball, basketball, futsal, court volleyball, and beach volleyball, the most popular sports in the region, stand out. In addition, this edition of the Games will feature the new sport of Kempo, boxe, dominoes, kickboxing, BMX freestyle, wushu, and skating. The disciplines of chess, bodybuilding, weightlifting, trampoline gymnastics, and rhythm gymnastics, softball, bowling, table tennis, record wrestling, boxing, and billiards complete the list of the disciplines. The Venezuelan authorities reported that the participation of some 3,000 The disciplines of chess, bodybuilding, weightlifting, trampoline gymnastics, and rhythm gymnastics, football, blowing, table tennis, record wrestling, boxing, and billiards complete the list of the disciplines. The Venezuelan authorities reported that the participation of some 3,500 athletes from Antigua and Barbuda, Bolivia, Cuba, Dominica, Grenada, Nicaragua, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Venezuela, and the guest country, Russia. This year's event will be conducted in an unprecedented open format, featuring the inclusion of Russian athletes in participation for the first time. The Russian delegation, remember attending this occasion, has 48 competitors who will participate in 7 various athletic categories.
Este magno evento deportivo simboliza la unión entre las naciones participantes.
This important sport event represents the unity among the participating nations.
Tenga la bondad de sentarse, por favor. En estos quintos Juegos Deportivos Alba 2023.
Remember that the categories including boxing, beach, volleyball, karate, table tennis, weightlifting, trampoline, and rhythm gymnastics. And also on Wednesday, the group of 36 Russian athletes made their first appearance in Venezuela.
De atletismo, representó a su país en los Juegos Centroamericanos y del Caribe.
We are seeing now how the athletes of Antigua and Barbuda are appearing in the stadiums, with a formal reception that took place at the National Sports Institute, located in Caracas, Venezuela. We see the national emblem of the teams of the countries. Right now at Antigua and Barbuda, and Bolivia. The delegation of Bolivia we remember that the delegations, 11 delegations will compete in 33 disciplines in 3 venues. And as well as we are saying, the Russian Federation was raised and the official attempt on Russia was performed. Deputy Sports Minister Alexei Mozorov said that during the events that it was the first time for quite a while for them to compete as the Russian national team with their flag and their attempt, stating, "You have our special thanks for that. It is very important for us and for most of our fans all over the world," said the Russian team, the representative of the Russian team. But now we are seeing the delegation of Cuba, our brother Republic of Cuba. We remember that the Alba, Bolivarian Alternative for the Americas Sports Games, created with the aim of consolidating Latin American and Caribbean sports as an expression of the integration of people. In this sense, we must see that Cuba, Venezuela, Bolivia are countries that are joined in the Alba TCP, traded for the and these are the delegations, 9 days of competition for 21st to 29th April. 11 delegations, we remember, will compete in 33 disciplines in 3 stadiums.
Levantamiento de pesa, nuestra hermana delegación de Cuba, inspirado en la energía de nuestro comandante Fidel Castro, heredero histórico del legado de estos 5 Juegos del Alba, junto al comandante Chávez, se hace propicio este momento desde Venezuela, esta 5ª edición. Una fuerte bulla, Venezuela, para nuestra hermana República.
The Alba Bolivarian Alternative for the Americas Sport Games were created with the aim of consolidating Latin American and Caribbean sports as an expression of the integration of peoples. These games, also known as the Alba Games, contribute to the full development of the human being through the promotion of physical activity and brotherhood among peoples. Cuba and Venezuela, one flag. The Spurs join us. We are listening right now. The song. And right now, the delegation of Dominica is defilating for the stadium. Dominica, the delegation of Dominica, known as La Foca. The we see the delegation La Foca of Dominica of the beach soccer that represents in different disciplines, and the people of Venezuela grade the delegation of Dominica that participate in different disciplines as tennis de mesa, athleticism, and boxeo. The Alba Sports remember that a leader of the history of this place, that the Alba Sports Games began in 2005 and had as a main guarantors Commander Fidel Castro Ruz and the President of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, Hugo Chávez Frías, when they signed the final declaration of the first Cuban-Venezuela meeting for the implementation of Alba. We see right now the delegation of Grenada, and the music representative of this nation. In this inauguration, we are listening different music of these countries, the flags of these countries that is with the color red, green, and yellow. These are the colors of this team. This beautiful Iceland that will represent in the discipline that boxeo, soccer, beach soccer. And the delegation of Nicaragua is now walking for the stadium. Nicaragua, we'll see right now the delegation. The land of Daniel Ortega is his president.
Es un atleta reconocido por el Comité Olímpico de su país en el 2022, rankeado en el número 2 en América por la PATU, clasificado para los Juegos Centroamericanos y del Caribe y para los Juegos Panamericanos de este año. Nicaragua, una de las delegaciones con mayor participación en este
One of the delegations that more representative have in this edition of the Games Alba 2023 is Nicaragua, the most largest delegation, because the athletes will represent us in the disciplines that chess, volleyball, and cyclism, soccer, camp, judo, kempo, kickboxing, and salt soccer.
patinaje de carrera, fútbol femenino, taekwondo, voleibol cancha masculino,
Nicaragua is one of the countries of the Alba TCP also, as known at these games, the Alba Games. And we remember a little of the history of the games.
de mayores participantes en esta edición de los quintos Juegos del Alba.
The 5 editions of the Alba Games. The Alba Sports Games began in 2005. Only 50 days elapsed between that transcendental meeting and the inauguration of the first edition of the Alba Sports Games in the Coliseums of the sports city of the Cuban capital. As a demonstration of the organizational strength of the Cuban sports movement in the following days, Cuba experienced the first manifestation that in the field of the sport, the Bolivarian alternative for the American was also possible. The brotherhood, solidarity, persistence, efforts, and inspiration, values of this competition, encourage and nourish the spirit of the entire continent. We are talking about the first Alba Sports Games, based in Cuba, were held from 17 to 30 June 2005. The dream of friendship, cooperation, and fraternity among athletes for Latin American and Caribbean nations became a reality after 12 years ago. With a percent of these games of almost 11 nations and more than 3,000 athletes of 11 countries who participated in 33 disciplines. Programmed for the occasion right now in La Guaira, Venezuela.
La Guaira, Caracas, Miranda. Fuertes los aplausos para Nicaragua.
And right now, the spectators of the stadiums are rated the delegation of Nicaragua. We see how the athletes, we see the flags of Nicaragua.
Una fortaleza en su delegación. Taekwondo. Es un atleta reconocido por el Comité Olímpico de su país en el 2022. Ya está
And 9 days of competition for 21st to 29th April. 11 delegations. Right now we are seeing Nicaragua, but 11 delegations will compete in 33 disciplines in 3 avenues. Venezuela is the President Nicolás Maduro are facilitating these games, and the Alba TCP is present in this 5th edition and strengthens this edition of the Alba Games with Venezuelan. And we are now celebrating the Nicaragua team that is walking for this stadium. And we are receiving now the delegation of San Vicente and the Grenadines. We are great now. This delegation of this Caribbean island, San Vicente and the Grenadines, this brotherhood island, with its Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves.
Compitió en el evento estilo libre de 50 metros masculino en los Juegos Olímpicos de Verano del 2016, haciendo un tiempo de 24:64.
The Bolivar Square in Greater Caracas was the final destination of the journey of the tours of the Alba 2023 Sports Games, throughout the 3 avenues in charge of the hosting of the 33 participating disciplines in the 5th edition. The torch began its journey last Monday when it was arrived on the waters of the Caribbean Sea to the Compañía Guipuzcoana in La Guaira on Tuesday. We are seeing now the delegation of St. Lucie, and we are listening this music of representative of this country, with her abandon, Anthony, national champion of baloncesto. He's a captain of the baloncesto. The representative of the delegation, the flagger of the delegation of St. Lucie. These are the athletes of the disciplines. And right now we are seeing the delegation of Russia, a guest delegation that we are remember.
Alba Games in this 2023 is Russia.
Venezuela, 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 todos de pie para recibir a la Federación de Rusia.
And Venezuela is up to receive the delegation of Russia, a delegation of resistance before the world. As a special guest in our games and in our country that are participating with us, with us, the people of Latin America. We remember that this year's event will conduct an unprecedented format featuring the inclusion of Russian athletes in participation for the first time. The Russian delegation attending this occasion has 48 competitors who will participate in 7 various athletic categories, including boxing, beach volleyball, karate, table tennis, weight flying, trampoline, and rhythm gymnastics. The delegation of Russia. And right now we are receiving the delegation of Venezuela. With very enthusiastic the athletes. And we are feeling right now the proud of the people seeing their athletes, seeing the athletes of their games, the flaggers of the Venezuelan people. And we also see the President Nicolás Maduro, the first combatant Cilia Flores, that are grading the athletes of Venezuela, the representation of the athletes of Venezuela for these games, Alba Games 2023, the 5th edition. And we remember that Venezuela was the sub-champion the of the Caribbean Games. Venezuela was the sub-champion of the Caribbean Games. The principal sport in Venezuela is the baseball, but have a representation of various disciplines for these games. These games are 33 disciplines. This year's, the 5th edition of the Games, Venezuela will participate in disciplines that football, beach soccer, gymnastics, chess, kempo, dominoes, and cyclism. And we are feeling the joy and the fury of the people of Venezuela. The official functionaries of Venezuela is also campaigned in this occasion, the 5th edition of the Games. In this beautiful stadium, Jorge Luis García Carneiro. And the proud euphoria is feeling right now for the people of Venezuela, for their athletes. We received Yulimar Rojas, the three times champion of Venezuela, Yulimar Rojas.
De la República Bolivariana de Venezuela, Mervy Maldonado.
The 3 venues of the Games will be in Caracas, capital, as well as the state of Miranda and La Guaira, which will host Olympic sports and recognized by the public, such as athletics, judo,
and keep sustaining the integration of the people. That is with hope. Athletes, trainers, and judges, the ones who integrate the delegations that participate in the 5th Games of the Alba, you are committed to be loyal, to defend solidarity, integration, and brotherhood between our people. Let's respect the rules of the disciplines, to defend the color of our t-shirts, and have a great performance to the Venezuelans in our region in every discipline. Do you swear it? Yes, we swear it. That God and the homelands will reward you, and if not, hey to the 5th game, Alba. Applauses.
Ingresa al suelo.
Now we have here with us in the stadium Jorge Luis García Carneiro. In the hands of Ángel Alfonso Bravo. A sportsman of a country. Let's highlight that this torch symbolizes the meeting of the people. This torch made a tour by the coast of the Caribbean and entered to the state of the Guaira. And it made and made his institution in the Bolivarian state of Miranda. After, it arrived to our capital of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, Caracas. Caracas. Applauses to our sportsman glory, Ángel Alfonso Bravo. This flame will light the hearts of all the Venezuelan people, of all Alba, during these 9 days of competition in Miranda, the Guaira, and Caracas. This sacred flame, the fire of the Alba, a high significant moment to all of our people. Hands up, Venezuela. Hands up. Let us feel the great energy. Let us feel the vibes.
9 days of competition from 21st to 29th April. 11 delegations will compete in 33 disciplines in 3 venues. The Bolivar Square in Greater Caracas was the final destination of the journey of the Torch of the Alba 2023 Sports Games, throughout the 3 venues in charge of hosting the 33 participating disciplines in this 5th edition. The Torch began its journey last Monday when it was arrived from the waters of the Caribbean Sea to the Compañías Huispocana in La Guaira. On Tuesday, the Torch made a tour of Marandino territory, which ended in one of the most iconic complexes of this state, the José Joaquín Papa Carrillo Gymnasium. The tradition of the lining the Torch represents as the symbolic value, the proof of the beginning of the sports games. And right now, we're hearing the President of the Republic of Venezuela, Nicolás Maduro.
By the Constitutional President of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, His Excellency Nicolás Maduro Moros.
Welcome to all the athletes
que llegan
that are here today with us from all
los rincones
the
de América
regions,
Latina y
from
del
the
Caribe.
region of Latin America and the
Welcome
Caribbean.
to all the athletes coming from all the Latin American and Caribbean region.
Y bienvenidos los atletas
And welcome the
y
athletes
deportistas que vienen
and the
de
sportsmen
nuestra hermana Rusia.
that come from
And
Russia.
Our athletes coming from our sisterly nation, the Russian Federation.
Hoy empiezan estos quintos Juegos Deportivos del Alba.
Today, we start with our 5th Sport Games of Alba,
Que están dentro del cronograma de preparación rumbo a las Olimpiadas París 2024.
and this is just to get ready to the coming Olympic Games in Paris, France.
Espero que estos días de participación deportiva, de competencia, sean muy provechosos para todos ustedes, muchachos y muchachas, atletas de la Alianza Bolivariana para los Pueblos de Nuestra América.
And I hope that during these competitions, all these athletes will attain their objectives and will affirm the principles of the Bolivarian Alliance of our America.
A nombre de toda la juventud y del pueblo de Venezuela, les deseamos el mayor de los éxitos y la mayor suerte en sus competencias.
On behalf of the Venezuelan youth, on behalf of all our country, we wish you success during these competitions.
El Alba es unión espiritual. El Alba es unión deportiva. El Alba es esperanza de un futuro mejor para nuestros pueblos de América Latina y el Caribe.
Alba is a spiritual union. It's a sport union. It's the hope for a better region and a united region, Latin America and the Caribbean.
Con estos quintos Juegos Deportivos, Venezuela 2023, el Alba demuestra que el Alba es juventud, que el Alba es esperanza y que el Alba es el futuro de nuestros pueblos.
So with these fifth games, 2023, we demonstrate that Alba is youth, Alba is hope, Alba is the future.
Por eso es que desde aquí, frente a este mar Caribe que nos une, declaro instalado e inaugurado los quintos Juegos Deportivos del Alba 2023. ¡Felicidades, muchachos!
Se siente la fuerza, toda la unión, hoy se aceleran mis ganas. Cada segundo lo hago valer, preparación de mi alma. Todos contentos, vamos a ganar, la experiencia será marcada.
The five-gate Alba Games are officially inaugurated. 11 delegations are participating, and for the first time, the Russian delegation is the guest of honor. The president of Venezuela, Nicolás Maduro, gave the closing speech. He said that Alba is the future of the peoples.
Bienvenidos a mi hermosa tierra, llamada Venezuela. Comenzó la jugada. Suelta. Ya se escucha en el área, furia de titanes. ¡Pum! La batalla, se sienten los dones, sudor en el alba, las delegaciones, la grada lo aclama. Con la reunión es un choque de mundo, comenzó el juego duro. Se sube duro, late mi corazón.
The President Nicolás Maduro did speak about the made this date be profitable for these athletes and made they reaffirm the principle of the Bolivarian Alliance for the America. The President said that we wish you much success in the competition, that Alba is a spiritual sport union and is a hope for a better future of our people of Latin America and the Caribbean. The President said that with these 5 sport games, it is demonstrated that Alba is hope, is the future, and declared the inauguration of the games.
Bienvenidos a Venezuela, todas las delegaciones de los países hermanos del Alba, que dicen presente con alegría. ¿Y dónde está Cuba? San Cristóbal y Nieves. Y Nicaragua también. La algarabía en las gradas se siente. San Vicente y las Granadinas. Santa Lucía, sí. Nuestra tierra hermana Bolivia. La alegría de toda mi gente. Antigua y Barbuda. Where is Dominica? Welcome Grenada. Así escuchamos a Rusia. Nuestra Venezuela les da la bienvenida. Welcome, Dobro Pashanovich. Ya se siente la euforia en la casa. Comenzaron los Juegos del Alba. Si se puede jugar con el alma. Juegos del Alba.
What we hear right now is the official song of the Alba Games. The Alba Bolivarian alternative for the Americas Sports Games was created with the aim of consolidating Latin American and Caribbean sports as an expression of the integration of peoples. These games, also known as the Alba Games, contribute to the full development of the human being through the promotion of physical activity and brotherhoods among peoples, as well as facilitating the exchange of athletes from the region with the main power in Latin America. The Alba Sports Games began in 2005 and had as main guarantors Commander Fidel Castro Ruz and the President of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, Hugo Chávez Frías, when they signed the final declaration of the first Cuba-Venezuela meeting for the implementation of Alba. Only 50 days elapsed between the transcendental meeting and the inauguration of the first version of the Alba Sports Games in the Coliseum of the sports city of the Cuban capital as a demonstration of the organizational strength of the Cuban sports movement.
¡Mano arriba! ¡Mano arriba, Venezuela!
The Games represent an opportunity for the countries of the region to showcase their athletes. According to the authorities, these results obtained in these Games will be important for the next Olympic Games in Paris 2024.
La Guaira, la mano arriba. Ok, todo el mundo cantando, todo el mundo cantando. Oh, Venezuela. Los Juegos del Alba.
Sube.
Bienvenido a los Juegos del Alba.
Los Juegos del Alba.
Vuélvela a poner, vuélvela a poner.
Díselo.
De este lado la mano arriba, de este lado la mano arriba.
And the press remembered the declaration of the President Nicolás Maduro that speak about these days be profitable for the athletes, and may they reaffirm the principle of the Bolivarian Alliance for the Americas. The President wished you more success for the athletes in the competition, and say that Alba is a spiritual sports union and is a hope for a better future of our people of Latin America and the Caribbean. The President said that with these 5 sports games, it is demonstrated that Alba is hope and is a future from I declared the inauguration of the games. We just hear the official song of the Alba Games. The Alba Games Bolivarian alternative for the America is the Science Sports Games created with the aim of consolidating Latin American and Caribbean sports as an expression of the integration of peoples. These games, also known as the Alba Games, contribute to the full development of the human being through the promotion of physical activity and brotherhood among peoples, as well as facilitating the exchange of athletes from the region with the main power in Latin America and Cuba. The Alba Sports Games began in 2005 and had as main guarantors Commander Fidel Castro Ruz and the President of the Bolivarian Republic of of Venezuela, Hugo Chávez Frías, when they signed the final declaration of the first Cuba-Venezuela meeting for the implementation of Alba. Only 50 days elapsed between that transcendental meeting and the inauguration of the first version of these games, the Alba Games, in the Coliseum of the sports city of the Cuban capital, as a demonstration of the organizational strength of the Cuban sports movement. These games represent an opportunity for the countries of the region to showcase their athletes. According to the authorities, the results obtained in these games will be important for the next Olympic Games in Paris 2024. It has represented a great achievement for Venezuela to be able to prepare these games after going through a deep economic crisis caused by the sanction of the United States government. Nowadays, the country has managed to leave behind the economic crisis, and this can be seen in a constructive movement deployed to build the facilities for these games.
San Cristóbal y Nieves, San Vicente y las Granadinas y Santa Lucía. También, como lo pudimos apreciar, una representación de la Federación de Rusia, que está haciendo acto de presencia para dar a conocer lo que es el espíritu de la Alianza Bolivariana para los Pueblos de Nuestra América, Tratado de Comercio para los Pueblos. Es abrir las puertas, es darle la participación a un país que está más allá de nuestras fronteras y que formará parte, sin duda alguna, de este escenario, en donde
9 days of competition from 21st to 29th April. 11 delegations will compete in 33 disciplines in 3 venues. The Bolivar Square in Greater Caracas was the final destination of the journey of the Torch of the Alba 2023 Sport Games. Throughout the 3 venues of charge of the hosting the 33 participating disciplines in this 5th edition. The Torch began its journey last Monday when it was arrived from the waters of the Caribbean Sea to the Compañía Guipuzcoana in La Guaira on Tuesday. The Torch made a tour of the Mar Andino territory, which ended in one of the most iconic complexes of this state, the José Joaquín Papa Carrillo Gymnasium. The tradition of lighting the torch represents as a symbolic value the proof of the beginning of the sports games. The 3 venues of the games will be Caracas, in the capital of Venezuela, as well as the state of Miranda and La Guaira, which will host Olympic sports and recognized by the public such as athletics, judo, fencing, cycling, on this edition, mountain, track and road, swimming, karate, and taekwondo. In the collected sport field, football, baseball, basketball, futsal, court volleyball, and beach volleyball, the most popular sport in the region, stand out. In addition, this edition of the Games will feature the new sport of Kempo, boxe, dominoes, kickboxing, BMX, freestyle, wazoo, and skating. The 5 games are officially inaugurated. We see the declaration of the president of Venezuela, Nicolás Maduro, and we see the disciplines of chess, building, bodybuilding, and the delegation of honor, the Russian delegation is guest of honor, and the another 10th delegation are participating for the first time. The president of Venezuela, Nicolás Maduro, gave the closing speech. He said that Alba is the future of all people. And more information in next emissions. Stay with us.